The Pittsburgh Steelers are back in the rumors, as now they're being linked to a trade with San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. First, before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on anything Pittsburgh Steelers news, especially throughout the free agency period. Also, like the video. Let's get right back into it. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a big gap at the wide receiver position. Ever since trading away Deontay Johnson, it really only left them with George Pickens at the wide receiver spot alongside Kelvin Austin and Van Jefferson. So, they are in dire need of a wide receiver. Whether that be through free agency, trade, or the draft, expect them to add one on their roster by the start of the season. Also, Brandon Aiyuk. He's been a big person in terms of the trade market because he's up for a huge contract and the 49ers and him have not agreed to yet, and maybe the 49ers don't want to give him that huge extension, so trade market value for him may be coming up very soon in terms of a trade if they cannot agree to an extension, while they let him walk for nothing next year if they could get value back for him. So you can kind of see how those two being linked together go hand to hand. Well, the rumors and the reporters have actually said the Pittsburgh Steelers have contacted and kind of reached out and kind of gauged the market of value for what Brandon Aiyuk trade could look like. One of the sources and reports saying this is 93.7 The Fan, saying the Steelers have looked into 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. He's entering the last year of his contract. Steelers would have to execute a sign and trade, but they've shown interest. And then to top off those rumors, Brandon Aiyuk on social media is basically non-existent. He just doesn't use it. He doesn't send out tweets. Well, yesterday was the first time he sent out a tweet in about a year. And what did he send out? Well, he actually tagged Mike Tomlin in it. He tweeted out this: "Coach Tomlin, they saying we twins. What you think? Eye emojis." So that's his first tweet in about a year. All the rumors going on about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Brandon Aiyuk being linked together, and this is a tweet that he sends out. So obviously, there's some speculation going on there about Brandon Aiyuk now that he even tweeted this out. That means that he's heard the rumors. Maybe the rumors are true. So this is what happened yesterday. First of all, the reason why he even tweeted this out to begin with is because people were saying about a month ago, this month or whatever, that Brandon Aiyuk looks like Mike Tomlin. Just the face and everything like that. They look like each other. That's what many people were saying. So obviously Brandon Aiyuk, he heard those rumors. He heard the rumors now, and he decided to put out this tweet. Me personally, I don't see the kind of resemblance in terms of what they look like. They don't really look exactly the same. But I guess people saying that, he's heard it, and this is what he sends out. So I guess he found it funny, he found all the rumors interesting, and he wanted to put this tweet out for the first time in a year. Well, enough with that kind of talk. Let's get right into it in terms of maybe what it would take to acquire a receiver like Brandon Aiyuk, just looking from past trades done in the NFL. So you look at wide receiver Tyreek Hill. When he got traded from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins. What did it take? Well, it took a first-round pick. When you look at A.J. Brown, when he got traded from the Tennessee Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles, what did it take? It took a first-round pick. You look at Stephon Diggs, and you look at the trade from Minnesota. This one seems as kind of more like a Brandon Aiyuk type of trade, because even though he was a great player in Minnesota, he was still not a top tier receiver yet, like Tyreek Hill was and AJ Brown was. So you look at the trade from Stephon Diggs from Minnesota to Buffalo Bills. What did it take? Well, it actually took a first round draft pick. That was pick number 20. And what pick the Steelers have in this year's draft? Pick number 20. It also took some middle rounders, like a fourth round pick and things like that. And I believe it took a player as well. I could be wrong on the player side, but that's probably what it would take to get Brandon Aiyuk, I believe, and many of the reports going out there is probably it would take a first and a fourth or first and third and a player. So if that's what it takes to get Brandon Aiyuk, me personally, I wouldn't do it, especially if you're trading a valuable pick like pick number 20 and then you're trading a middle round as well and you have a lot of holes to fill in your team. I just don't see the reason why you would trade those two high draft picks for a player, especially Brandon Aiyuk, who hasn't broken out yet. he's up for a huge extension. So are you really going to pay him $20+ million a year, $25 million a year to be your number one wide receiver when you have George Pickens on your roster as well? What are you going to give him, a 4-year contract? George Pickens' contract is going to be up in 2 years, I believe, because it's a 4-year contract, rookie contract, and then you have to pay him high money. Are you going to pay him high money and pay Brandon Aiyuk high money, or are you going to trade Brandon Aiyuk in 3 years or 2 years? So it's kind of having 2 wide receivers on a huge contract just usually doesn't work out in terms of cap and just a good team overall because of the high cap number and less money spent in other areas. And I just don't see a way that Brandon Aiyuk gets traded if those draft compensation is actually what it would take to get a deal done. Maybe if it take a second and a third, or a third and a third, then sure. But taking a first, a third, fourth, and a player, I just don't see that happening. But looking at Brandon Aiyuk, looking at his skill set, what does he bring to the team? Well, he's regarded around the NFL as a pure route runner, an ability to find openings. And that's basically what the Pittsburgh Steelers trade away with Deontay Johnson. A pure route runner, someone who could find openings and really good at route running. But Brandon Aiyuk does a little bit extra on top of that. He's still able to be a deep ball receiver in terms of making plays down the field. He's fast, and one of the best things he does that is very underrated, but actually started being talked about a lot this past season based off the film of the 49ers, is his run blocking. His never give up mentality, no matter where the football is. If the running back has it all the way down the right sideline, he's going to be sprinting there trying to get a block. He never stops. His motor is high, and he's really engaged in plays. No matter if he's involved or his teammates involved, he's always near the football trying to get extra yardage no matter what situation it is. So in terms of him and how he could help this team, there's no doubt in my mind that he could be a really great player and really help this team a lot. It really all depends if the 49ers want to trade him, or do they want to give him a contract extension, and what would the trade market look like in terms of the value that the 49ers would get back and the Pittsburgh Steelers would give up. But there's no doubt in my mind that Brandon Aiyuk would be a seamless fit here, especially in Arthur Smith offense in which he likes big body receivers that are actually able to block. Usually in Arthur Smith and even their wide receivers coach type of mentality, if you can't block or you're not willing to block, you're not going to play. So getting Brandon Aiyuk, someone who's a pure route runner next to a guy like George Pickens, who's more of a deep ball threat and a contested catch player and not really a pure route runner. He's starting to get better at it, but putting those two linked together and having the blocking ability of Brandon Aiyuk and George Pickens could really go a long way in helping this Pittsburgh Steelers offense, not only in the pass game in terms of catching passes, but also in the run game as well, just being willing to help your running back and your offense line in a given situation. Also, even though I really like Brandon Aiyuk as a wide receiver and his fit with the Steelers, and I would like to see a trade happen, let's just look at another reason why it probably won't in terms of cap space value hits. Well, first of all, any team that trades for him will first be able to accommodate his $14.124 million cap charge in 2024. And then they would have to kind of sign him to another contract beyond this year. They're not going to trade for a guy whose contract is over if they're not going to agree to a contract before the trade. So Aiyuk wants a new deal this offseason, and likely one that averages around at least $20 million per season, and that's likely on the low side. He probably could even make up to like $25 million, high or even lower. So that comes with a lot of guaranteed money. He's gonna want a lot of fully guaranteed money just in case of injuries and stuff like that happens. So you look at that, and a Brandon Aiyuk extension would wound up being a new money average of at least $20 million. It would technically make him the second highest player on the Pittsburgh Steelers behind only outside linebacker TJ Watt. That would be a huge development when it comes to the Steelers and their history of dealing with outsiders, rules and trends, streaks based off of how Steelers have done business in the past. So the Steelers really just have not done business like this. So to expect something like this would happen, where the Steelers would give huge draft compensation up for a player and then also have to pay him huge money. It's different if you're trading for someone on a rookie contract and you don't have to pay them as much. But trading for a guy who's already proven in this league and also is going to be making huge money, give up a first round pick, a third round pick, and maybe even more for a player. The Steelers just have not done business like this in the past. So to assume that they would do so now may be true because maybe you have a new general manager in Omar Khan and he's willing to do more business like this. The front office maybe agrees with the way the future is heading in terms of the league and training for players and maybe not using it as a draft choice, because if you could look at a wide receiver at pick number 20, can you really get a receiver better than Brandon Aiyuk at that spot? Or you could look at it as this: the Steelers, they haven't done business like this now. They're not going to start now, and these are just rumors going on. So you can kind of take the Steelers out of these rumors. That's kind of how I think of it. I really don't see the Steelers doing this trade, but these are a lot of rumors that have been going on, and even Brandon Aiyuk kind of teased at it on social media, so why not cover it? Brandon Aiyuk has just turned 26, and in his first 4 years in the NFL, he has 269 receptions for nearly 4,000 yards. So he's a really good receiver. He would be a seamless fit on this team, but will it happen? The future will tell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this topic in terms of Brandon Aiyuk, what he's done on social media to kind of tease at this, and also just your thoughts on him coming to the Steelers. Would you want them to give up the draft compensation for him? Do you believe it's too much, too little? Would you hold off? Would you just go sign someone for agency or use the pick in the draft to select a wide receiver? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this topic in general. And also make sure you turn on those notifications. Make sure you click that bell. Make sure you like the video so you can get notified every single time I post a Steelers video giving you updates on even rumors like this. It may not actually happen, but just rumors and updated news. Also, I covered every single free agency signing in terms of introductions, so make sure you check those out on the channel as well. And I'll continue to do so. So, until the next video, I'm out. Peace.